today we are going to be starting on a new topic. Like I said yesterday, we are going to be talking about what a leader is, guys. So we are going to be discussing qualities that are needed for one to be a good leader. But before that, I would just like to remind us our rules, which we usually call them our golden rules, right? So I always emphasize this every morning because it is important. So please make sure that you adhere to the rules, to the class rules, because they are very important. So one of the rules in our class chart is that we have to respect our teacher, we have to respect our fellow learners. And another thing is that if you want to say something, you have to raise up your hand. You do not disturb or interrupt when someone is talking. So the reason why we call them a golden rule, remember, is that whatever we want other people to do to us, we also want to do to them. Okay, so today we are going to talk about leaders. We're going to discuss what a leader is. So let's get into it. So before I explain what a leader is, what do you think a leader is? Is this your first time hearing the word leader? Where have you heard it? And what was happening? So let me hear what you know about a leader. Yes, Tefo? You said that again? Okay, thank you. So Tefo saying a leader is someone who helps people, and that's correct. And what else? Lerato? Please say that again, so that everyone can hear. Okay, thank you. So Lerato is saying a leader is someone who guides people. And that's correct, guys. So all those answers are correct. A leader is someone who guides. A leader is someone who works for the good of the people. But then before I explain what a leader is, I'd like to acknowledge that the concept of leader or what constitutes a leader has changed tremendously because different people view leadership roles or what a leader is in a different way. There are leaders in political settings, there are leaders in religious settings, there are leaders everywhere. And each time that the concept of the word leader is used, it usually denotes something that might be different depending on the situation. So, but today in general, we are talking about leaders, or when we say a leader, we mean someone who guides people, someone who directs, someone who shows people the right thing to do. So someone who is determined to do what is right, to benefit himself, and also to benefit the people that he represents. So I'd like to make an example of traditional leaders, especially in rural areas. There are still people who believe in traditional systems or traditional ways of doing things. So there you see that leaders have always played a significant role in traditional leaders. So in traditional settings rather, chiefs were taken as leaders in the sense that they represented the people in their settings or in their communities, and they had certain roles that they played. So a chief was someone who governed people in a community or in a village. He made sure that people's grievances are heard or taken into consideration. If people have had a dispute that they cannot settle, they'll go to a chief of that village, and then he would help them to resolve the dispute. And so what is also important about a leader is that he does not work alone. So a leader is someone who values other people's opinions or the people that he works with. So he works in a team, for the good or for the good of the greater number or for the good of the people. So that's what a leader is. So now that I've explained what a leader is, and from this explanation, we have really seen that a leader plays a significant role. But then you might be asking, what qualities does one need to be an effective leader, to be a good leader? So first, what is a quality? So a quality is a distinct feature that helps someone or something to stand out in a way. So as a leader, you need to have certain qualities that qualify you to be to lead people in a way. So what are those qualities? So there are various qualities that one would need, such as being selfless. So a selfless person is a person who puts the interest of others ahead of his own. He listens to people and makes sure that he really understands what people want and works towards helping them to meet their needs. So that's one of the qualities of a leader. But then, before we thoroughly discuss those qualities, there's a video that I'd like to share with you that will help us understand just what a leader is and what qualities are needed for one to be a leader. So I will show this video, and please pay attention to all the qualities that are mentioned here, because we're going to discuss them. And also please pay attention as to what the video says with regards to whether a leader needs to be someone popular all the time, or a leader can be anyone as long as they have those needed qualities. Okay, so here is the video. So please guys, be silent so that you'll be able to hear. Also, there's no audio in this video, but please watch. Okay, thank you guys for watching.
Created using
So this is a discussion session where we are all going to participate and say what we've had from the video, right? So there are beautiful points that were brought out from the video that I'd like us to discuss together. And so please feel free to talk, but please make sure that when you say, if you want to say something, you just raise up your hand. And when someone is talking, you do not interrupt them. Okay? Okay, so let's go. Tempo, yes. What did you hear from the video? What qualities of a good leader did you see or did you hear from the video? Please speak out loud so that everyone can hear you. Please say that again. Okay, thank you. So one of the qualities that we had from the video is that a leader is someone who's really focused on the cause or the purpose, and someone who's devoted to the cause or to the purpose. So what does that mean? It means that a leader must show interest in leading people. He must be focused on know what he's doing. He must be able to direct people. He must be devoted. And really devotion means that you give your all into what you are doing. And that would also mean that even when things get tough or when the going gets tough, you do not give up, because all the time you always have clear in mind what your goal is or where you want to go. So that's what a leader does. He focuses. He works hard. That will also mean that he has good time management skills. As a leader, you know that there's a lot that goes into serving people. You have to make time to listen to them, to collect information that will be valuable to the people that you are representing. So there's really no time for WhatsApp. A leader will not constantly be on social medias unnecessarily unless you are looking for information that is relevant, right? Okay, so thank you very much, Tempo. What else did we hear? Lirato? Please say that again. Okay, thank you very much. That's another point that we had from the view that a leader must be someone who is reliable, someone who is who respects people, and someone who's patient. So let's take this one at a time. What does being patient mean? So being patient means you are able to display qualities of calm, especially when things are not going well for that moment. You are someone who works hard and really are focused on the end result. No matter what happens along the way, those things do not make you want to give up in some way. You are patient. You are calm under difficult situations, right? And what does respect mean? When you think of a leader, we usually see people who are brave, people who are in power, people who can do whatever they want. So is it really important for a leader to be respectful, to respect other people? And the answer is yes. So as a leader, you want to respect the people you represent, and how do you do that? You respect them by listening to them carefully, by valuing their opinions, or by valuing whatever that they have to say. You do not just take decisions or make decisions on behalf of the people without consulting them. Remember that we are talking about great leaders, and one of the things that constitutes a great leader is when it is a democratic leader. So what does that mean? In democracy, we consult, we work together, we work in a team. We do not use power to actually make decisions for other people, right? Because remember, we always have in mind that we are servants. We are working for the greater good of the people. So everything that we do, we are servants. And what else does a leader do? So one of the qualities of a great leader is that a great leader is someone who is open-minded. So as an open-minded person, a leader always looks for different ways of doing things. He is not autocratic. And what does that mean? An autocratic person would be someone who believes in a fixed way of doing things, or who believes that his way of doing things is the best way. But then, a democratic leader, especially autocracy, is the opposite of democracy. So in autocracy, they do not consult, but in democracy, we consult. So that's one of the qualities of a great leader, that he is open-minded. He knows that there are various ways or various methods that can be used to handle a certain situation, and he is always happy to listen to other people. He's not always on the front line. A leader can be someone who leads by putting people ahead and him being following closely. And we also think of a leader as someone who would take a role of a soldier, for example, in war. The soldier is always in the front line when things go wrong to protect people. So a leader does the same. Okay, so now that we have really learned a lot from the video with regards to all these qualities that we need, or that one would need to be a leader, we've discussed that a leader is focused, devoted, and hardworking. We've discussed that a leader is someone who is patient, reliable, someone you can trust. And why is it important for someone to be reliable? The importance of being reliable is that the people that you represent will trust you. They will not have to worry about whether you will steal from them. They will not have to worry about whether you are trustworthy or not. So when you prove yourself to be reliable, then people will trust you. So all those qualities that we've discussed are very essential for a leader to have. And there's something really interesting that I also that I picked up from the video, so hope that you guys picked it up. The video said something important, and the question was, is a leader someone who is always popular? Okay, I see a few hands here. Esther, please say that again. Thank you. So the answer is really no. Anyone can be a leader, no matter where they come from, their background, whether they're popular or not. So being a leader does not mean that you always have to be popular, right? But then now I'd like us to talk about one of our very own great leaders here in South Africa, or rather one of the greatest leaders in South Africa, and that is Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. So today we are going to use him as an example of a great leader because he really worked for the greater good of the people. We remember that he was a selfless person who really did put the interest of other people ahead of his own. And how do we know that? We know that because he was not a proud person, or a person who, like other leaders, who use people for their own advancement or to their own advantage. So he really helped people because he loved them, because he cared about them. He was really a compassionate individual. And how do we know that? We know that because he even was willing to give his life on behalf of the people. Remember that he's one of the people who were imprisoned, and he spent 27 years in prison. And why did he do that? He spent 27 years of his life in prison fighting for what? Fighting for freedom, so that everyone could have an equal opportunity, so that everyone could live under a democratic society. And that's what we are living under today. And that's all because of what he did for us, right? So that's one of the people who were really great leaders. And how else do we know that he was a great leader? He displayed a spirit of patience and perseverance. And now what is perseverance? When someone perseveres, it means that they continue No matter how hard things become, they're always focused on the course, and they know what strategies to use rather, to make sure that they reach the end goal. They do not forsake their course when things go wrong, but they continue and work very hard. So this was one of the things that Nelson Mandela did. He was a servant as well. He served people and he served everyone. He served rich people, he served the poor, he served young and old. He made sure that he was really bringing peace. He was a peacemaker. He even served his enemies, guys, because he was willing to make to reconcile, to make what's the word? To make peace with the apartheid system, so that everyone could live under peaceful conditions. So we really are grateful that we have someone who can look up to like Nelson Mandela. So now that we've discussed all these qualities that are needed for one to be a good leader, do you think that, or rather should I rephrase it like this, what qualities would you specifically look for if you are to choose someone to represent your class as a class prefect? Okay, so we are going to have a discussion on this one. Just raise up your hand and think what qualities are important or what qualities are needed for one to be to qualify as a class prefect. Because remember, we said that anyone can be a leader, no matter where they come from, no matter how old they are. In actual fact, you guys are here at school and it starts with you. You do not have to wait until you are old to be a leader. You can be a leader right now by setting a good example. For example, you have to work hard in your school, at your schoolwork, and that's how you are setting an example. But then I would like to hear from you what constitutes a good leader, or what would make a person qualify as a class prefect according to you. Okay, let's go to Tepo at the back. Please speak loudly. Say that again. Okay, thank you. So Tepo says a good prefect or a person who would represent a class, according to him, would have to be someone who is a hard worker, who works hard at school, who really has good results, because that would really show or really motivate the other learners to work hard as well, and that's very good. Thank you very much, Tempo. And Leo, I saw your hand. What do you think would constitute a good class rep or class prefect? Thank you very much, and that's correct. So another quality that the class prefect, or that would be needed for one to qualify as a class prefect, is that it would have to be what? To be selfless, guys, yes. And what does that mean? Being selfless means that you are willing to serve other people. It means that you do not have a braggy or a proud personality. You are someone who can come down to other people's level. For example, if you see someone struggling with the schoolwork, you're always there to help them. If you can help them, even if you cannot help them, you'd then help them to get someone who would be able to help them. And that's what a selfless person does. So all these other qualities that are important, such as selflessness, such as courage as well, right? So another quality that would be needed is being courageous. Why? Because some people have different, as human beings, we have different personalities. Others are shy, but then being shy, of course, does not mean that you cannot be a class prefect, right? So for you to be a class prefect, especially if you are shy, you really need to be courageous, or to be brave, to believe in yourself. So courage is important, or bravery is important, and also believing in yourself. Having a good self-esteem is important if you want to be a class rep, especially because your fellow learners will be looking up to you. So you need to really have that bold personality, right? Okay. And just to make something clear, a class prefect would not have to be someone who is popular. Remember we said a leader does not necessarily have to be someone who's well known by everyone and someone who is loved by everyone, but someone who really has that willingness to serve people and someone who knows how to work with people to benefit other people, right? So that's what we said. So now what we are going to do, I have a worksheet that I've prepared for us to do, and that's what we're going to do. We are going to discuss these questions as qualities of a good leader. So we've discussed what a leader is and how it benefits the community or how good leaders benefit people, and the qualities as well that we need for us to qualify as good leaders. So this is your worksheet. I've given each and every one of you a worksheet. But then if you do not have, because you came late, this is the work, so you can just use that one. And if you do not have a worksheet, you do not have to necessarily copy down all the questions. You just write number 1 and then you answer. So I'll be walking around, and if you have any questions with regards to the activity, just say so, just raise up your hand and I will come to you. Okay, so everyone please take out your books, your social sciences, classwork books. On your history section, please write today's date and underline, and then paste that worksheet on your classwork book, and then underneath you start answering the questions. Please do not repeat the questions, just write down the answers. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.